Good morning. I want to start with a question that might make you uncomfortable. How many dreams have you sacrificed because of an excuse? Think about it. How many opportunities have passed you by because you said, I'm not ready, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, or maybe someday? Here's the truth that most people never want to hear. Your excuses are not protecting you. They are imprisoning you. And if you keep listening to them, 5 years from now, you'll be standing in the exact same place, wondering why your life never changed. Today, that ends. What if the greatest obstacle standing between you and the life you dream about isn't a lack of talent, money, education, or opportunity? What if it's a story you've been telling yourself for years? Think about that for a moment. How many times have you said, I'll start when the timing is right? I need more experience. I don't have the resources. Or maybe one day these phrases sound harmless. They sound logical. They even sound responsible. But beneath the surface, they are often nothing more than excuses wearing the mask of reason. The truth is that every excuse has a hidden cost. The problem is that most people never see the bill until it's too late. Every time you choose an excuse over action, you are making a trade. You are trading growth for comfort. You are trading opportunity for certainty. You are trading the future you want for the convenience of staying where you are. And while that trade may feel safe in the moment, the price becomes painfully clear when months turn into years and years, turn into decades. Have you ever noticed that excuses always sound convincing? That's what makes them dangerous. Nobody wakes up and says, today I'm going to sabotage my future. Instead, they tell themselves stories that justify inaction. They convince themselves that they need more time, better conditions, or perfect circumstances. Meanwhile, someone else with fewer advantages, fewer resources, and fewer guarantees decides to take action anyway. The difference is not ability, the difference is decision. Imagine looking back at your life 10 years from now. Imagine seeing all the opportunities that were available to you today. The business you could have started, the skills you could have developed, the relationships you could have built, the goals you could have achieved. Now imagine realizing that none of those dreams disappeared because they were impossible. They disappeared because excuses slowly replaced action. That realization is far more painful than failure itself. Here's something powerful to remember. Excuses are comfortable, but comfort rarely creates greatness. Every remarkable achievement in history began with someone refusing to accept the reasons why something couldn't be done. Successful people are not individuals who never face obstacles. They're individuals who refuse to let obstacles become permanent excuses. They understand that conditions are rarely perfect, and that waiting for the perfect moment often means waiting forever. The most successful people in the world have faced setbacks, rejection, criticism, and uncertainty. They have experienced moments when quitting would have been easier than continuing. Yet they move forward because they understood a principle that changes everything. Progress belongs to those who act despite imperfect conditions. They didn't allow temporary difficulties to define their permanent future. Right now, there may be a goal you've been postponing. There may be a dream you've placed on hold. There may be an opportunity you've convinced yourself you're not ready for. Ask yourself one question. Is the obstacle truly stopping me, or is the story I'm telling myself stopping me? Because the moment you become honest about that answer, everything changes. Excuses lose their power when they are exposed. And when excuses lose their power, your potential finally gets the chance to take center stage. The day you achieve your biggest goal, earn your first million, or receive recognition from the world, one of the most powerful moments is the instant you stop pointing outward and start looking inward. Because that is the moment everything changes. That is the moment you stop being a passenger in your life and become the driver. Most people spend years giving away their power without even realizing it. They blame the economy, their upbringing, their circumstances, their lack of connections, bad luck, difficult bosses, unsupported people, or past failures. And while some of these challenges are real, blaming them does not move your life forward. Blame may explain where you are, but it will never take you where you want to go. The more responsibility you give to external factors, the less control you feel over your future. Think about this carefully. If your success depends entirely on circumstances, then your future is always at the mercy of things you cannot control. But when you choose to take responsibility, something incredible happens. You immediately gain influence over your direction. You may not control every event that happens to you, but you always control how you respond to it. And that response is where your true power lives. One of the biggest myths in life is the belief that responsibility is a burden. In reality, responsibility is freedom. The moment you accept responsibility for your choices, habits, actions, and results, you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. Instead, you begin creating opportunities where others see obstacles. Look at the most successful people in any field. They all share one common trait. They take ownership. When things go wrong, they don't waste time making excuses. They ask better questions. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? What action can I take right now? While others are focused on finding someone to blame, they are focused on finding a solution. That mindset alone separates leaders from followers. There is something incredibly empowering about saying, my life is my responsibility. Those words may sound simple, but they carry extraordinary power. They mean that your future is not determined by your past. They mean that mistakes do not define you. They mean that setbacks are not life sentences. They mean that regardless of where you started, you still have the ability to influence where you finish. Many people fear responsibility because they think it means accepting fault for everything. That's not what it means. It means accepting ownership of your next move. It means understanding that while you cannot rewrite yesterday, you can absolutely shape tomorrow. The past may have influenced you, but it does not have to imprison you. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing your progress is not dependent on luck, approval, or perfect timing. Imagine waking up every day knowing that your actions matter, your decisions matter, and your effort matters. That mindset creates resilience, it creates discipline, it creates momentum. And momentum has the power to transform an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. The moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what am I going to do about it? You begin operating at a completely different level. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as the architect of your future. The strongest people are not those who have avoided difficulties. They are those who have chosen responsibility in the middle of difficulty and used it as fuel for growth, progress, and lasting success. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start when I feel more confident? If so, you're not alone. Millions of people spend years waiting for confidence to arrive before they take action. They wait for the fear to disappear, for the uncertainty to fade, and for the perfect moment to show up. But what if everything you've been taught about confidence is backwards? What if confidence is not something you gained before? You act, but something you build because you act. This misunderstanding keeps countless people trapped. They look at successful entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, and performers and assume those individuals were naturally confident from the beginning. What they don't see are the moments of doubt, fear, hesitation, and uncertainty that existed behind the scenes. Every successful person has stood at the edge of an opportunity wondering if they were good enough. The difference is that they didn't allow those feelings to become a reason to stay still. Confidence is often viewed as a prerequisite for success, but in reality, it is a result of repeated action. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. No one begins with competence. You start awkwardly. You wobble, you make mistakes, you may even fall. Yet with every attempt, your skills improve and your confidence grows. The confidence didn't come first, the action came first. Confidence followed as a consequence. The same principle applies to every meaningful goal in life. Whether you're starting a business, speaking in public, pursuing a new career, developing a skill, or chasing a dream, you cannot think your way into confidence. You must act your way into confidence. Every step forward sends a powerful message to your mind, I can do difficult things. Every challenge you face and overcome becomes evidence that you are more capable than you once believed. One of the greatest traps people fall into is overthinking. They analyze every possibility, every risk, every potential mistake. They spend so much time preparing to act that they never actually begin. Meanwhile, someone with less knowledge but more courage takes action and starts making progress. Knowledge is valuable, but action is what transforms potential into results. You can spend years planning the perfect strategy, but one decisive step often teaches more than months of endless preparation. Fear plays a major role in this process. Many people assume fear is a sign that they should stop. In reality, fear is often a sign that they are standing at the doorway of growth. Every significant breakthrough in life exists outside of your comfort zone. If you only do what feels easy and familiar, Your life will remain limited by what you already know. Growth requires movement. Growth requires uncertainty. Growth requires action before certainty exists. Consider the first time someone stands on a stage to speak in front of an audience. Their heart races, their palms sweat, their voice may shake, yet after doing it repeatedly, what once felt terrifying becomes natural. Why? Because action transformed fear into experience, and experience transformed uncertainty into confidence. The same pattern repeats itself in every area of achievement. The most powerful opportunities often belong to those who are willing to move before they feel completely ready. They understand that waiting for perfect confidence is a losing strategy because confidence is not a starting point. It is a reward. It is earned through effort, strengthened through repetition, and reinforced through results. Every action you take, no matter how small, becomes a brick in the foundation of self-belief. The moment you stop waiting to feel confident and start taking action, you begin building the confidence you've been searching for all along. What if the very thing you're trying to avoid is actually the key to unlocking your next level of success? What if fear, the emotion that makes your heart race, your hands sweat, and your mind question itself, is not your enemy at all? Most people spend their lives running from fear. They see it as a warning sign, a signal to stop, retreat, or play it safe. But the most successful people in the world understand something different. They know that fear is often a sign that they are standing at the edge of growth. Think about the biggest opportunities you've ever faced. Chances are they didn't arrive wrapped in comfort and certainty. They arrived carrying risk, doubt, and uncertainty. Whether it was applying for a new job, starting a business, speaking in front of an audience, moving to a new city, or pursuing a dream that seemed larger than your current abilities, fear was probably present. That's because fear naturally appears whenever you step beyond what is familiar. The comfort zone is an interesting place. It feels safe. It feels predictable. It protects you from failure, embarrassment, and rejection, but it also protects you from growth, achievement, and transformation. Nothing extraordinary is created inside a life built entirely around comfort. Every major breakthrough begins when someone chooses to leave the familiar behind and embrace uncertainty. One of the biggest misconceptions about successful people is that they are fearless. In reality, they experience fear just like everyone else. The difference is that they don't allow fear to make their decisions. Fear may ride in the car, but it doesn't get to hold the steering wheel. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action while fear is present. It is moving forward even when there are no guarantees. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain you've never climbed before. Looking up, the journey appears overwhelming. The distance seems impossible. The obstacles look intimidating. Fear immediately begins whispering reasons why you shouldn't start. It tells you that you're not ready, not qualified, not strong enough, or not experienced enough, but something remarkable happens when you take the first step. The mountain doesn't disappear, but your perspective begins to change. Every step creates momentum. Every challenge overcome builds strength. Every obstacle conquered increases belief in your own capabilities. Fear has a unique way of exaggerating risks while hiding opportunities. It focuses your attention on what could go wrong while ignoring what could go right. It convinces you to focus on the possibility of failure instead of the possibility of growth. Yet history is filled with people who achieved extraordinary things because they refused to listen to that voice. They acted despite uncertainty. They moved despite doubt. They advanced despite fear. Growth and fear are closely connected because growth requires entering unfamiliar territory. When you learn a new skill, pursue a larger goal, or challenge your current limits, discomfort is inevitable. That discomfort is not evidence that you're failing. It's evidence that you're expanding. Muscles grow when they are challenged. Minds grow when they are stretched. Character grows when it is tested. The greatest opportunities in life rarely announce themselves as certainty. They often arrive disguised as challenges that make you nervous. The presentation that scares you, the opportunity that feels bigger than your experience, the conversation you've been avoiding, the dream that seems almost impossible. These moments have the potential to reshape your future, but only if you're willing to move toward them rather than away from them. Fear is not a stop sign placed in your path. More often than not, it is a signal pointing toward the exact direction where. Your greatest growth is waiting. You face, but by where you choose to focus your attention. Think about that for a moment. Every single person on this planet faces challenges, setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles. Yet some people rise above adversity and create extraordinary results, while others remain stuck in cycles of frustration and limitation. The difference often comes down to one powerful habit. Successful people focus on solutions, while unsuccessful people become consumed by problems. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to become trapped by a problem? The moment something goes wrong, the mind naturally starts asking questions like, why is this happening to me? Why is my situation so difficult? Well, why can't things ever work out? While these questions may seem harmless, they often lead to frustration rather than progress. They keep your attention locked on to what is broken instead of what can be improved. The longer you focus on the problem, the larger it appears. The more energy you give it, the more power it gains over your thinking. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but it tends to move in the direction of the questions you ask. If you ask disempowering questions, you receive disempowering answers. If you ask empowering questions, you unlock possibilities. Imagine replacing, why is this happening to me, with what can I learn from this? Instead of asking, why am I struggling? Ask, what action can I take right now to improve this situation? Those simple shifts completely change the way your mind operates. They move you from a state of helplessness to a state of resourcefulness. One of the defining characteristics of great leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, and high achievers is their ability to maintain a solution-oriented mindset under pressure. When problems arise, they don't waste valuable time complaining about circumstances they cannot change. They immediately begin searching for options, opportunities, and next steps. They understand that every minute spent dwelling on a problem is a minute not spent creating a solution. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It means refusing to allow challenges to dominate your thinking. Problems are real, but they're not permanent. Every obstacle contains valuable lessons, hidden opportunities, and potential pathways forward. The individuals who achieve extraordinary results are often those who train themselves to look beyond the obstacle and focus on the possibility that exists on the other side. Consider some of the greatest innovations and achievements in history. They were born because someone encountered a problem and decided to solve it. Every invention, breakthrough, business, and advancement exists because someone focused their energy on finding answers rather than complaining about difficulties. Challenges have always existed. What changes the outcome is the mindset brought to those challenges. There's a powerful principle that applies to every area of life. Energy flows where focus goes. If your attention is constantly directed toward limitations, setbacks, and obstacles, your energy will follow. Your motivation will decrease, your creativity will shrink, your confidence will weaken, but when your focus shifts toward possibilities, strategies, and solutions, your energy begins working for you instead of against you. You become more proactive, more resilient, and more effective. Every challenge you face presents a choice. You can spend your time explaining why something cannot be done, or you can spend your time discovering how it can be done. One path leads to frustration and stagnation. The other leads to growth, progress, and achievement. The people who transform their lives are rarely those with the fewest problems. They are the ones who develop the habit of looking beyond the problem and relentlessly pursuing the solution. No matter how difficult, what if one decision could completely change the direction of your life? Not 10 decisions, not 100 decisions, just one. It may sound impossible, but history is filled with examples of people whose lives transformed because they made a single commitment and refused to turn back. The difference between where you are today and where you want to be tomorrow often begins with a decision. Not a wish, not a hope, not a dream, a decision. Most people underestimate the power of decision because they confuse it with desire. Everyone desires success. Everyone desires happiness, financial freedom, better health, stronger relationships, and a meaningful life. But desire alone changes nothing. A decision is different. A decision cuts off alternatives. It creates clarity. It sends a message to yourself that you are no longer interested in. Merely talking about your goals, you are committed to pursuing them. Take a moment and think about the goals you've postponed. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start next month, I'll begin when things calm down, or I'll wait until I feel more prepared? The truth is that tomorrow has become the favorite hiding place of unrealized dreams. People delay action because delay feels safe. It protects them from discomfort, uncertainty, and the possibility of failure. Yet every delay carries a hidden cost. Opportunities disappear, Momentum fades, confidence weakens, dreams slowly become distant memories rather than future realities. The most successful individuals understand something that many people never learn. Clarity comes from commitment, not contemplation. Many people spend years trying to figure out the perfect path before they take the first step. They want certainty before action. They want guarantees before effort, but certainty rarely arrives before movement. It is often discovered during the journey. The path becomes clearer as you walk it. Opportunities reveal themselves after you begin. A true decision creates momentum. The moment you commit to a goal, your perspective begins to change. You start noticing opportunities that were always there, but previously escaped your attention. You begin finding solutions where you once saw obstacles. Your mind shifts from asking, "Can I do this?" to asking, "How can I make this happen?" That change in thinking is powerful because it transforms you from a spectator into a participant in your own success. Commitment becomes even more important when challenges appear. Anyone can stay motivated when everything is going well. Anyone can remain excited when progress is fast and results are immediate. The real test comes when obstacles emerge, when setbacks occur, and when the excitement of a new goal begins to fade. This is where commitment separates dreamers from achievers. Dreamers stop when things become difficult. Committed individuals adapt, adjust, and continue moving forward. Every meaningful accomplishment requires persistence. There will be moments when progress feels slow. There will be times when doubts arise. There will be days when quitting appears easier than continuing. In those moments, motivation alone is not enough. Motivation is temporary. Commitment is what carries you through the difficult seasons. Commitment reminds you why you started when emotions try to convince you to stop. Imagine looking back on your life years from now and recognizing that everything changed because you made a decision and honored it. Not because conditions were perfect, not because the journey was easy, not because success was guaranteed. Everything changed because you chose a goal, committed to it with conviction, and refused to allow temporary challenges to determine your permanent future. The most powerful force in achievement is often not talent, intelligence, resources, or luck. It is the unwavering commitment of a person who has made a decision and refuses to surrender it. As I close, remember this: the life you want is waiting on the other side of the excuses you've been telling yourself. The dream is still possible. The opportunity is still there. The potential is already inside you. Stop negotiating with your fears. Stop consulting your excuses. Stand up, take ownership, and move forward with everything you've got. Years from now, you will either have reasons why you didn't succeed or stories about how you did. Make sure your future is filled with stories, not excuses. Your time is now. Your moment is now. Go out there and prove to yourself what you're truly capable of.